work. We're going to get into some more personal things, of course, because, that's what I like to do. You're not new to me completely, I don't think.
I wasted years of therapy. I could have just come on this podcast.
You probably got more info out of celebrities than anyone else.
In my private life, I was living a nightmare.
This was definitely no stock podcast.
I think we ought to do this every week now.
Right. So here's my other rule that I'm breaking, which is at the very beginning of our talk, I am bringing up your new movie. And I don't like to do that at the beginning of a talk because most people will not have seen it. So I don't want to disinterest them from the beginning. However,
right.
Your new film is so beautiful. And I really can't even express to you how much it affected me. I watched it last night or yesterday after you sent me the link. And it is such a beautiful film, and I want everybody to see it. It's called Gigantes. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I love it. It's therapeutic.
It is therapeutic. I mean, my eyes, I came out of it, I was done, and I walked into the other room, and my son is like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm actually great," because I just watched Steve's new movie, and it was such a beautiful movie.
Thanks. It's a world that I mean, my daughter, I mean, there's no words to explain how amazing it was. My whole family is in it. Our home movies are in it.
I knew they were your home movies. I'm like, these are totally yours, and must be your son too.
It starts with that, It's like, and that's it's my son who was a PA on it,
Is your wife in it? Where's your wife?
Yeah, she plays the person in charge of. Comes out. She has a couple lines. She's like, "Claire, you're on first," or "Claire, you're on last."
Oh, okay, I know. She's like the stage manager or something.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Organizer. And then all our families are in it. Rick's wife and our editor Kobe. They're the two people that were buying the bourbon company from Ethan.
Okay.
And Ethan's one of my best friends, and
Ethan Hawke,
it's really hard to explain.
Okay, so we're talking a lot about work. We're going to get into some more personal things, of course, because that's what I like to do. You're not new to me completely, I don't think. But I do need to talk about the White Lotus. I know it's old news for you now. Are you tired of it?
No, I mean, it was a while ago, but it doesn't seem as long because of just it's there every year. So,
Yeah. Well, so when we talked last time, you were telling me that this show is coming out on HBO. It's called The White Lotus. And so it hadn't come out yet. And you were like, "Oh yeah, I had to go back and do a reshoot of a couple of scenes with my on-screen son." Right.
Right.
So when it came out, I was trying to figure out, I wonder which scenes you just had to fly back to Hawaii for. I think you were scuba diving or something. I don't know if you were in the Pacific or in the pool.
No, it's when we were in the back of the boat. We were coming out of the water after our amazing dive. That was one of them. It was really simple. I mean, it was like, wow, I could fly this whole way to get out of the ocean.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not a bad gig.
No, it's great.
Yeah. And also I just have to say, I love the White Lotus, and to me, it's all about season 1. Just have to go on the record as saying it. That's the season. So I tell everybody, if I recommend the White Lotus, I'm like, you're going to want to see season 1. That's what it's about.
Yeah, it was really remarkable. It was just a unique time because of COVID.
Yeah, and you were there in a bubble.
We were, people were banging pots and pans in New York, and we're watching the sunset. in the ocean every night. I mean, it was just a surreal experience. But it was also really, it was kind of like film camp, and Mike White was just amazing. He had such a great script. I felt like we were doing a play. It was just, it was really cool.
Yeah.
He writes these scenes where it was like two people for 7 minutes talking to each other. I mean, you know, things nowadays don't have patience, like that. And it works.
It works. And to me, that, like, when that season also, it was so about the nuance and reading between the lines and looking in to see what these characters, like, who are these people? And they were fully developed people with fully
Yes.
developed issues.
Flaws and strengths
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
dimension. Yeah,
It
yeah.
was like, I remember thinking at the time, like, how does Mike White write these super 3D people like that have so much dimension and they're all so unique from each other? And it
Yeah.
wasn't just like, action, whatever. It was just it was a thinking person show, I felt, and I
Yeah.
really liked it a lot.
Yeah.
So,
It's
do you watch
brilliant.
it? Did you watch the others? Did you watch season 2 or season 3?
I haven't seen the last one, so and I have
You can
pals
skip
in
that.
that. So
Oh no, you're not going to be able to react to this, but I'm going to say you can skip season 3.
okay. I watch the news and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
hard for me to watch shows. I don't know. I don't binge shows like most people.
What do you watch? Do you watch movies or what?
I watch movies, like I listen to records. I watch documentaries. I like that. I like history. I like,
Have you seen
uh,
any good ones recently?
some docs.
Yeah.
Let's see, I just watched I watched one about Charlie Sheen. That was interesting.
Yeah, what'd you think of that?
Yeah, yeah, it was wow, quite a life of just insanity and riches. And yet at the end I was like, oh, you should see She Dances. Because it was about his kids and it was about, that common thing that we all share if you have kids.
So that's interesting because I wonder if, like, so do you think about the fact that, like, Audrey and your son's name is Henry, right?
Mhm.
Henry? So do you
Yeah.
think about the fact that, like, what is it like for them to be growing up with a famous father?
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because my kids they're so different. They're so unique. They were, I don't know we lived on they grew up on a farm and I was a dance dad. And, I made those wood cubes that they danced on, and I was backstage doing that kind. So, they didn't. My kids didn't go to a lot of, they never went to a red carpet and stuff like that. We kind of kept them out of that. They came to
Mm-hmm.
sets that were fun, we were like burning the town, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I
But
remember you saying that like people don't even know who you are. A lot of people don't even know who you live near. Like your neighbors in Kentucky don't even realize that you are who you are.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they kind of do, but when you live in a small community, there's a part of it of celebrity. It's very strange. It's like if you're not really, because you live here. Otherwise, you live somewhere else. So you're not really, Hollywood guy, which is kind of a compliment, but it's also like, what do you mean? I choose to live here. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know if that makes any sense,
Yeah,
but
so
it's like,
so are they kind of also saying they're kind of like throwing Hollywood under the bus, kind of
yeah,
insulting you
totally.
almost at the same time?
Yeah, I've had people come up going like, I don't like Hollywood and everything. And I go like, what do you mean by that? I don't even understand what, you don't like Hollywood? Have you been there? What is Hollywood? Films? You don't like movies? You don't like actors? You know, it's interesting, but
So
I've
I
lived there.
see that. Yeah, I see that a lot too because a lot of times, like on my YouTube videos, people will comment a lot about, because, you know, there are some stories about people how they've gotten screwed over by different people in Hollywood and, you know, in Hollywood. And so there's tons of comments like, figures, Hollywood is the worst, Hollywood this, Hollywood that. I mean, there is this like universal, not universal, but there's like this hate, I guess, towards Hollywood. I don't really understand it.
I don't either. I mean, I do get it to an extent. It kind of represents something in people's brains. It's like, but in actuality, it's like what we used to, you know, there was a time when we celebrated Hollywood, you know, and I think we've become so cynical you know, we want to knock things down, even though we go see movies and we enjoy it. But I don't know, we don't celebrate like we used to. We don't have big parties like we used to, you know, red carpets and, you know, as much as we did in the past. Like,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are still red carpets, but it's a little
right, there
different.
Is,
I'm going to one in a few hours, in fact.
The same way, like
yeah.
stars or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's also different because of social media and everything else, as we know, right?
Right. So it's really unique. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So you feel like, okay, so are you getting more reflective as you get older? Like, do you feel yourself being able to kind of step back and have a little bit of perspective on things like this?
Yeah, for sure. And then there are times when I was talking to Rick yesterday. I was like, hey, when we get older, let's remind each other to just shut up. Don't talk, because you know, you hear older people and then, you know, they'll get political or it's just like just don't, just keep it to yourself.
Or like curmudgeonly, is that what you mean? Like they're getting all, oh, or they just want to.
Yeah, a little bit like, oh, those kids, you know.
Yeah.
You know, making comments about like a generation, which is ridiculous. You know, it's like, I can't think of a specific person or whatever, but. But so, yeah, I think that's wisdom, right? The knowing when to shut up and not talk, and show it with your work.
Well,
you know?
Have you ever said anything that you regret saying?
Well, sure. You mean like in public?
Yeah.
Nah, not really, because I've kind of, you know, not really.
Well, what about in private?
Well, sure.
Like what?
Well, I don't know. You know, having an opinion about something that I know little about, but you know, getting emotional about things and not being, you know, calm and collected.
Yeah.
You know, you can get emotional. And that doesn't help when two people are yelling at each other across the street. One of them's right, but you both look like a couple of idiots, you know?
Yeah. It's interesting.
And your kids, I think as your kids grow older, they remind you of how ridiculous you really are. That's what I love about my kids, you know?
Because they recognize things that you do. Is that why they know your patterns? Like they recognize the things that you do?
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
There's no hiding anything. Mm-hmm. There's no hiding anything because they know. But I'm really tight with my kids. Like I talk to my daughter almost every day. We like FaceTime.
That's very cool. And not everybody has that relationship. Yeah. I know you already did way before the movie too. I remember you were talking about, I think she was going to go away for school or something, and you were kind of dreading the moment, right? A few years ago?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm horrible in that situation. I'm a mess. My wife's like, see ya. And I'm just like, oh, the worst.
I remember when we dropped my daughter off at college. She's our oldest of 3. And I remember like I was thinking about it a lot ahead of time, like, oh, I just, you know, this is going to be rough. And, you know, they say that a lot of times a parent and a senior in high school, their child, will start fighting that year before the child goes away because it's like their way of.
Yeah. It's like a natural way of, right.
Yeah. It's like so sad.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah. So with my daughter, I didn't feel that at all. I was like, we did not go through this. Is so good. And then when we took her to school, Like, it was okay. I was okay. But my husband, I remember being like, oh, this is fine, see ya. And then we came home, and that night, it was like he decided he was having dinner of like cereal, candy. He was binging candy that night. Like, he never does that.
Right.
It was so funny.
Freedom.
No, not freedom. He was so upset. He was
Oh, he
trying
was
to
so
feed
upset.
he was feeding his emotions. He missed her so much. He was so upset about her leaving. So
get
yeah,
it.
we joke that that's what the night after we leave everybody at school, like he's gonna binge all his candy.
And that dropping off at school, it repeats in different ways, and it's like,
So the thing I like to tell people too is when kids go to college, because now I'm seeing this, it's not like they're gone forever. Like it used to be like that with us, with my generation, I can say, like when, like I did go back home for a little bit, but forget that. But I went to the University of Florida, so I went all the way to Florida when my parents were in New Jersey, and it was like you didn't have cell phones and stuff, so there was a big disconnect.
Yeah, you talked once a week, maybe.
Maybe, right. Like they would call the dorm phone down the hall, or I would call them or whatever. But now it's so different. Plus they keep coming back. Like, as you know, you have this relationship with her now, and you've been working with her. Like you're working with everybody. So they don't just go away when they go off to college. I try to like reassure people who are a little empty nest anxious about that.
Yeah, no, they do. And again, like because of technology, there's ways of connecting, It's kind of great, right?
Yeah.
And because we do it every day, it might just be 10 seconds. Like I can't talk, but hey, what's going on? And and then it's over.
Yeah. My daughter and I often just text each other, "Hey, girl."
Yeah.
From an old TV show.
What? That's what Audrey's like that. She's like, girl. She calls me girl. And that's kind of in the movie. And she'd answer.
It was in the movie.
All right, girls, let's go. We all wrote that in there. And then we were like, you guys, we're going to write the relationship that Rick and I have. And we're just going to writing funny stuff. Now you guys do whatever you guys do.
Well, I think when you were saying something, you were telling your story of, I'm not going to give it away. You were telling your story of what happened when you were a teenager. And then Mackenzie said, girl, what? Like,
what?
And I was like, yes, my son says that too. My son is like, he will say that to me and I'll crack up. And I am a girl, but still, that's not the whole thing.
Right.
I love that. So that's, again, it's the real things that go on between parents and kids. Love it. Put it out on the screen. I appreciate that.
Good. Yeah.
So tell me about your wife. How's she doing? Is she pumping out the book still?
She's unbelievable. She's got a deadline. I called her last night. She goes, I can talk for 7 minutes. I'm like, okay, let's go. And it's like, I'm on a deadline. I have to and she does it all herself. She's a machine and she loves it, I wish she wouldn't write as much. She writes daily. I don't know a lot of people like that are that disciplined. And she doesn't plot, so she just writes. And then she goes back and she deconstructs and she constructs again. She'll get rid of stuff. She'll come and her brain is just constantly coming up with characters, and she's really good at dialogue, and she's really, but it's really remarkable what she does.
That is interesting. It's like everybody's a different process. So she writes every day. So is she writing a book? She's working on a book every day?
Yeah, she's constantly writing and coming up with new ideas. I think that's how she, some people go, I'm going to go think and then I'm going to write. She writes and that makes her think. You know what I mean? Which is a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Right. Because, when people go like, hey, I want to be a writer. Would you write? I want to be an actor. Great. Do you act? Because you should do it all the time. If you want to be a professional basketball player, you should probably play basketball every day and shoot buckets, So she's very disciplined. And like even this place, I think about it when I rent a place. I'm like, I wonder if she can write here. Because she'll stay longer. And I think she's an outdoor writer, and there's a little courtyard out here, and I got a little fire pit. It's so great. I'm kind of behind all these buildings. I'm in East London. I'm right off of Victoria Park, which is one of my favorite areas. It's so great.
So how long are you there? What are you there for?
I came here August 15th, and then I'm here till the 19th or 20th of December. And I'm doing the fourth season of Silo, this Apple show that I've been on.
Oh, okay. That's a long, so 4 months, that's a long time there.
It's a long time. But here's the crazy thing. So Rick Gomez is my partner. He's in the show, coincidentally. And it's a huge show. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of things going on. Our characters work together, and we really don't work that much. So he actually bought a flat about 15-minute walk from here. And that's another reason why I wanted to be in this area, because we'll work. He comes over here and we write, and then we go throw the baseball in the park, and then we cook. And so
That's
it's
great.
great. Yeah.
That's a good setup. I don't even know. Why do I not know about Silo? I don't even know anything about
It's a
it.
really
How did
good
I
show.
not do my research?
It's a post-apocalyptic kind of show. It's like 350 years from now. Rebecca Ferguson is the star. It's about people living in a silo. Outside, you can't go outside, you die. And so with 10,000 people in a silo, and they have their own kind of government and but all of memory, all of the world is that they don't know why they're there. There's no record there's no movies or pictures. That's forbidden relics. Like they find a Pez and they try to figure out what the hell it is.
Oh, and you've been on this for a few seasons already?
I started in season 2,
Okay.
and then last year and then last year and then this year. But this is it, season 4.
The end, the series is done.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I shouldn't compare it, I guess, but have you seen Paradise? I know you don't watch TV, but Paradise has like a kind of a similar, a little different, with Sterling K. Brown. It's really good. I like it. That's on Hulu.
Cool.
But I know you don't watch TV. It's about movies. So, okay. So let's go back to London. So, all right. So, you and Rick are you hang out a lot together. Art.
Yeah.
So with this macaroni art, this is your company, right? You and he started it recently.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what are you doing with it? You're making more films like She Dances?
Yeah, we've got, we finished that. We have this docuseries on Chef Ouida Michael from Kentucky. And we have 9 episodes of that. Independently, we got a grant. It's an independent television show, which is kind of the Wild West right now. It's kind of like, I really feel like that's where television is going to start moving towards. You're going to have people making products and then selling them. But right now it's really weird because it's kind of like the way that the independent film scene was in the early 90s, right? Late 80s. It was kind of crazy. It was like, oh, we could go out and acquisition a movie. We can go buy a movie and then make it a part of our library. So anyway, we have that. We have a movie that I think we're going to shoot in the fall called Hot Fruit. And that's a grape heist movie.
Grape
It's
heist
really
movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's really, it embodies the things that Rick and I kind of like, funny, sad, strange, all those, I don't know,
Strange
in a
things.
movie, in a show,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Unique, different.
Yeah.
So
And
go on.
no, and we have a bunch of ideas, and a lot of things that we're pitching right now, and it's a really unique. I have a lot of friends that did this early on in life. I didn't. I was just a gunslinger. I was an actor for hire, and now I share a production company.
Right. Right. Like, because you have like kind of a group of friends where you all started together, right? So you're talking about Ethan maybe as one example.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. So he was already he was doing this kind of developing
Oh,
films and
early
whatnot.
on, Ethan was like, yeah, one of those our friends that was like a truly, Renaissance man. Like, I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna go produce something. I'm gonna go direct something. Always putting himself out there, right? To be criticized by the world. It's like he's so remarkable. And what makes him so special and unique is he gets better and better and better. There's no plateau. It's incredible. Go watch Blue Moon. He's phenomenal.
I will watch Blue Moon. I have not seen that. I love him in the Linklater trilogy. The
Yeah.
before,
And
oh
that's
my God.
Blue Moon is Rick's movie as well. Uh,
Okay.
I
Blue
mean,
Moon.
I think Rick and Ethan have worked together like 11 times, like 10 times.
So
It's really
putting
cool.
yourself out there, like you're saying, like that real, so do you think Ethan, as an example of somebody who just kept putting himself out there to be criticized, do
Mhm.
you think he has higher self-confidence than other people, or do you think he just doesn't let that stop him
Yeah, I think
from?
it's more, I mean, I think as an artist, we're all really vulnerable and we're very insecure deep down, most, I think. And I think I think that's it. I think it's not confidence, it's the ability to just like take it and then continue, solving problems and putting out content that you think is challenging and good, you know. I just admire that, and so now I'm in that stage right now, and I've never been this busy in my life. And the stuff I enjoy doing is, I love doing our own stuff.
Yeah.
It's what we're doing is truly what all my peers would go like, yeah, man, Cassavetes had a right. All their friends, they had dinners and they just made movies. Well, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And we're getting, we're doing it the way that we think, you know. She Dances, we had Final Cut. We didn't take money, anything. We put all that away so that we could have Final Cut. It's our movie.
Hmm.
Was it influenced by notes and things like that? Sure, yeah. But in the end, it's the movie that we envisioned.
Yeah.
And it has split screen, and yeah, it has. There's
Love.
like there's certain things where people go like, yeah, I don't like that. Okay, well, don't put it in your movie when you go make your movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, it's not going to be in whatever other movie. That's fine. But like the split screen was so cool in
It
this
works,
movie.
right? Because
Yeah.
it shows like it. If we didn't have the scene, there's a split screen between me and my daughter, and we don't live together. There's a problem, right? Obviously, I am in an apartment. She's at home with mom, Rosemary DeWitt, right? Another pal. And we do it in split screen so they can see their lives are paralleled, right? If we didn't have that scene, that goes on for a long time. We would have to lay other track and have other scenes that explain stuff. And instead of talking down to an audience, we get to witness it.
You knew right away what was going on, and it was so
We got it,
you
right?
knew. So you get and you set it up, and we see it right away, and we see it in such an interesting way. It makes it
Right.
already like it pulled me right in. Like, oh, this is super interesting. We're watching two people here at the same time, and
And the
you're not.
laptops and the light from the laptops
Yeah,
and
come on. And then at the end, but whatever. I'm not going
yeah,
to say anything about that. I don't want to
right.
give away, but like, yeah, it's all cool.
Really powerful.
Powerful. So Cassavetes, I have something to say about him too. So my son and I were actually watching the Mr. Scorsese docuseries. Have you
Oh
seen
yeah.
that?
No, I haven't seen that.
So
I
you'll
gotta,
like that. You'll like
yeah,
it.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not so much by the way it's done. I mean, I think it got all kinds of good reviews or whatever. It's very it's very detailed, and she gives a big history kind of. So she sets the stage with him too. But He mentioned Cassavetes, and I remember that a lot of people who I've interviewed over the years have, when I've asked them things like who's impactful, on you or whatever as a filmmaker, whatever. And a lot of people would say, as an actor, Jenna Rollins was like a favorite. And I remember thinking, it's funny, I've had not really seen her in things. I thought of her as an older woman. This is over the last few years. And then after she died, I kind of did, and they would mention Cassavetes too, obviously. After she died, I decided, why haven't I seen some of these movies? And I did a little deep dive. Oh my, they're so good. Like A Woman Under the Influence. What? Stop. That's so good.
One of the greatest.
Oh my God. So
Under the Radar.
Yes, Under the Radar. And these are the things that we need. I feel like now more of these things. That's just one side note because you mentioned it. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention is the thing about insecurities. Because I think, yes, that a lot of artists are insecure. And that's one of the things when people ask me well, what do you notice? Is there a common thread? And usually I'll say, well, there are two things. one is everybody's insecure, and it's not just actors. It's everybody in the world.
Right.
As a therapist, I will say that everybody is insecure in different ways, but the difference between people who are successful and people who aren't is that they just keep going anyway. They keep doing it even though they get rejected and they have self-doubt. The self-doubt doesn't stop them. And that's why I asked about Ethan, because it does seem like to me, that's the notable thing. It's not that they're more confident. It's not that they have no insecurities, that they just keep moving forward anyway, in spite of it.
Right. It's like another butterfly crosses in front of you and you all of a sudden forget about all the other stuff. And you're like, oh, wow, look at that, and you're caught up in the moment. And then it's, when I was younger, it was all about what move and what I want to do, this kind of film and that kind of film. And now it's I just want to keep working and just be as good as I can be, and show up early, over prepared and don't be a dick. And that's kind of the philosophy I have now. And I just want to have a good time. And I think usually when I had a really good time on stuff, the movie's usually a lot better, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it. I think it's kind of like, you have a kid and it's really hard and you're up late and you're just like, oh man. And I think there's a chemical thing in our makeup that goes then you're going to have another kid and you just kind of forget. You're like, I know we feed it. You forget about all the hard part. And it's the same thing. You just kind of there's always another movie. There's always another show.
Yeah. I mean, do you ever stop though and think, do you ever stop and see, this is one of the Zoom problems, is that we end up talking over each other. But anyway, regardless, do you ever pause for a second and say, okay, this is really nerve-wracking that I am this is going to be out there for people to see and I'm vulnerable in it and I'm not sure how it's going to be perceived?
Oh, sure. But She Dances, I mean, we wrote it and, and it's pretty vulnerable movie and, people are really, but in the end, you're just I'm really proud of it. It's really great. And if you don't like it, that's fine. That's okay. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And there's a great Godard quote. I have it up on my fridge in my office. It's and he said, he who dives into the void owes no explanation to those who stand on the side and watch.
100%.
So there. And I love that because then it's just about the work. It's not about pleasing people on the side, right? It's honestly about the work. That's it.
So you seem pretty grounded. I feel like you've always been pretty grounded. Yes?
Yeah, I think yeah.
So tell me about your parents. I don't think we ever talked about them.
They're really grounded. They, yeah, they're kind of amazing human beings. They are the people that like give like truly like 10% before taxes. They're the ones that very modest life. My dad was a minister in a traditional church, so it wasn't an evangelical church. It wasn't, it's like, where you don't, it's about being a pastor, about visiting shut-ins. It's about feeding people. I grew up in universities. He was a chaplain. He was the guy that started churches, would go to a small community, and he was young, and my mom and him would be instrumental in starting this church, right? My mom worked at the YMCA for decades, and she still goes every morning. If I'm visiting mom, she will wake me up at 5 a.m. and we go to the gym. We go to the Y. It's crazy.
Huh.
But anyway, they're getting older now, but yeah, they're pretty
Okay.
amazing people.
That makes sense to me. Like I see that. So that has a lot to do with you being grounded and like stable. And I know you're saying you have insecurities, but also like you have perspective and you're secure. So even if you have insecurities, by the way, you can still be secure. Like, you know what I'm saying? You
Oh,
can
sure.
feel secure in life. So you grew up going from place to place with
Um,
them?
yeah, I mean, I was born in Marshall, Minnesota. We moved to Big Rapids, Michigan. We were there for like 3 years. Then we moved to Mankato, Minnesota, where he was a chaplain at Mankato State University, which is now I think called Minnesota University. And then he got a congregation in the suburbs of Minneapolis. And it was a church called Peace Lutheran. And so we moved there when I was in seventh grade. And then I lived there, until I moved out. But
Okay.
yeah, so my dad was a preacher. My mom sang in the choir. But they were great. They were really, my dad gave me, when I was like in sixth grade, let me listen to George Carlin
Really?
because he thought he was a genius and had such an understanding of the English language. He was just like, my dad was a very literal guy. Like he read he was a reader, poetry, like, history. My love for history comes from him. But like humor, he used to give me records to listen to, like Jonathan Winters and Newman, the phone call conversations. He'd have like these, it was just crazy. I would listen to all these kind of old, he bought me like Steve Martin, like Wild and Crazy Guy. He loved humor and he laughed at me, which was really, it's cool when your parents truly like laugh at you. You know what I mean? Or
In the
they're
best
just
way,
being
yes.
nice, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. So
so
he
that
was
was,
entertained by you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you would listen to these records of these comedians and these bits, and then you would just like start doing your own things or what? You just like, when did you develop this?
I don't know. I just like, yeah. I mean, develop what? Like
Like this sense of humor and
naturally.
this sense of this comedy, like this ability to be funny.
Yeah, yeah. And then, as a little kid, you like imitate, right? You do the imitation of Nixon or whatever, and then people pay attention to you, and then it becomes, I don't know. I guess I was always kind of a little funny guy, but it takes me a while. It takes me a while. Even today, like I'm not very funny right off the bat. It takes me a little while
A while to do what? Like between what and what?
just to relax and be funny, you know. Not as much as I used to, but now I don't. Whatever.
It's funny. One of the things when I started dating my husband, one of the things he told, because he was so funny, and I remember like he would crack me up. And one of the things he told me was like, you don't know this about me, but like most people don't understand this, but I'm really a very serious person. And of course, I cracked up. I thought that was the funniest joke he ever said.
He's like, no, I'm serious.
But now I know he is
Right.
like he is.
Well, I think the real funny people, the people I always laughed at were not the class clown. They weren't the people tap dancing on the coffee table. The funny people were in the back going, dude, sit down. My God, it's so embarrassing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't know. Rick and I, we laugh at each other like, jeez. My son makes me laugh really hard. They were here, he and his girlfriend for 1 month, and they just like went around Europe and used my place as this home base. And I have PlayStation, and one of the most entertaining things to do is he watches me play Red Dead Redemption and makes fun of me in real time, and it makes me laugh so hard. Oh my God. So I'm sitting at home. This really happened. This is crazy. And Henry and Kaylin were making me laugh. And I was laughing so hard that I couldn't breathe, right? And I had to get out of the room. And I was bent over and I was crawling, and I got up. And as I entered the kitchen, I coughed and I lost I passed out.
What?
Yet from laughing and hit the floor. I come to, and Caitlin she's a trauma nurse, and I'm just blood, and I passed out. I hit my face.
Oh my God.
I had to go to the emergency room, and the doctors kept, they were just checking me. You have a heart attack. I'm like, no, dude, I'm telling you right now, I was laughing so hard that I passed out.
So you like cut your breath off or something?
Yeah, I completely lost all. I was like, and then and
Oh my God. So what was bleeding? Did you break your nose or
my
something?
nose. Yeah. I think it
Oh
broke.
my, what? So you're lucky that she was there though, right? Like a trauma
Yeah,
nurse.
right?
What?
Yeah, but how fun is that?
I love that you said that's your perspective, is how fun is that? That's awesome.
I mean, we'll
Yes.
always have a story like dad. So if I laugh, they're always like, sit down, sit down.
You're like a feeble old man now. They have to make sure you don't laugh too hard.
You know, it's so funny. Uh-huh.
But that is the difference, right? Like by the way, everything is a story. And you can look at it that way too. Like if you were just to realize that every crazy thing that happened that was maybe awful at the time is part of it's a story. Like it's a story that you're going to tell later. My dad has 8 million stories and half of them are super embarrassing, but like he loves to tell them, and we all die laughing when he's telling his stories. These are they're embarrassing moments that thank God they happened almost, because they were really funny.
Yeah.
And he can entertain us with them for years.
Yeah, it's great. It's what it's all about.
And do you have any siblings, or no, is it just you?
I have 2 sisters, Nancy and Heidi. And my youngest sister is Korean. So, and she came over. I think I was 3, and she was like a year and a half.
So your parents adopted her, took her in? Like what was the deal?
No, my parents are Korean, and I was left on the doorstep. No, I'm kidding. And then they moved to the United States, and I was like, yeah, awesome. Fitting right in.
You've told this story before. You've had this reaction before.
Yeah. So, what was the question? Yeah, so she was
The question is, tell me about your sister.
So Nancy's adopted, and she back in the early 70s, late 60s, it was a big, South Korea was a place that a lot of kids came from at that time. And my older sister lives in Idaho, and she's moving to Virginia. And, it's my sisters.
And what do they think of Steve?
I don't know. They think it's cool.
What do your
Okay.
parents think of you and all your movies and stuff?
They love it. It's just kind of a normal thing. Um, yeah, when I dropped out of college and I told them I was moving back home, they're the only thing they said was like, "Are you going to move back now or later?" It was like, we knew you were going to do this. It's like, oh, okay. I think I'll stay because they're not going to give me money back and I paid for it. So might as well hang out, work out, be in the play, don't go to class. That's what I did. So
Where was this?
it was a college called Gustavus Adolphus College, a Swedish, like Lutheran, you know, college in Minnesota. It was great. It's a great school. But I just had a different calling, you know.
Yeah.
I knew in a moment. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this out.
And didn't you go to Boston or something? You went to Boston
Yeah.
for something.
Yeah, I stayed in Minneapolis and I worked professionally in theater and then I worked with actors who were like, hey man, you should go train. You should go to a place where you focus on it and people are gonna shape you and I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. What places do you think? And I remember auditioning for like 4 different schools, and I got into the American Repertory Theater at Harvard. It was a really cool program that was very small, and it's basically the old Yale School of Drama, and they moved to Robert Brustein and moved that program up to Harvard, and so it was amazing for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to harness things and focus and then move to New York and not work.
Right.
Back
Well, that's
then,
part of it, right? That's what you have to do. Yeah. And you could still live, right? Not now. Now you have to be in finance or something to really be able to afford to live in New York.
Exactly. It's insane.
Uh-huh. New York has changed a lot, by the way, too. I have to say, in recent years, I remember. So my daughter lives there. My son was there for a while, my middle child, and they were kind of telling me like it's really like it's different now. Like there's it's a different thing going on. I was like, whatever. And they're like, there's a lot of transplants here now. I'm like, yeah, there's always it's New York, of course.
Right.
And like there's still New York. There's still New Yorkers everywhere. And I was, because I'm in LA now, so I was staying with my daughter a couple of weeks ago. And walking around, I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Like the village is different now. It's
Yeah,
very
it is.
even different than 5 years ago. Like, and she told me that nobody even calls it the village anymore. It's just the West Village or the East Village. Nobody says the village.
The village.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I know that I was at Tribeca and was staying down in Tribeca, and it was like, you guys, this used to be not that long ago. That
That's
was
what I'm
amazing.
saying. Not that long ago.
No.
So you can see it. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, places change, but whatever. We won't get caught in that. So tell me, so your life seems to be like it's been smooth. Like it feels to me like you've had a nice, smooth, balanced life. Do you
Yeah.
agree?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, part of that is our own doing, living where we live. And then, you know, your life becomes about your kids and you get into these subcultures and focus on them. And then your kids are older and I've been really lucky. I mean, really lucky. And fortunate to I have really smart people around me, honestly. Like my manager, Marsha McManus, she was my first agent. I signed with her in 1989. And now she's my manager. She's a brilliant, artistic person that's in a management, position, it's like working with like great producers who are storytellers, right? And Marcia has always been that person that has been able to, it's like, these are really smart people. This is a really good script. These are, she's cool that way. And I benefited, It's like, wow, you make great decisions, Steve. I go, yeah. And also my wife. My wife is a genius. Like when I get a script, right? I'll get a script and I'll read it out loud. I'll read it in time. And I'll give it to her and she'll read it in like 30 minutes and have 10 things to say about the writing. And I'll go like, I don't know. She's like, what are you kidding? This is amazing. You know, she said that about Chad Powers. I was like, I don't know. What do you think? The pilot's so weird. She's like, are you kidding? This is hysterical. This is the dumbest show ever. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, she said that about, Anaconda. Same thing. I was like, I don't know, man. It's far away. But so I have that, right?
Yeah.
I have smart people around me.
Right. So you've selected smart people too. You recognize them, just like Marsha will tell you this person is smart or whatever. Like, when you see them and you decide to stay with people who are
I know immediately when I have a rapport. Part of that is just a natural rapport with people.
Right.
But I have to have an artistic connection. Otherwise it's just business.
Yeah.
And that's
right.
There has to be that other quality, that other thing, So.
Do you have any regrets in life?
Not a lot. No. I mean, there's things I probably have like missed out on because of where I live, but I don't know what those things are, so it doesn't really bother me, I think I was unable to understand positions that I had gotten to. It was only in hindsight, and I was like, I should have taken advantage of that. I might have had a different trajectory. I might have had a different, but I'm really kind of content. So I don't,
But like what?
I'm content with my life.
No, I don't mean what are you content with? I mean, like when you're saying I was in a position I didn't recognize that I was in.
When professionally, like you got to a place, right? And that's, that's where I should have hired the publicist and you know what I mean? You get, and you're like, yeah, that was a big moment, but I didn't capitalize on it.
So like what would have been a big moment that you're thinking of? Like after what movie?
I remember like after Out of Sight, that was kind of I got like letters and calls from like incredible people. Like, I got an email from like Sean Penn, and it was just, and I was so excited, but I was excited as a fan, as somebody that didn't see myself in, I was like, can you believe it? Sean Penn, man. I should have, called him up and got his number. You know what I mean? And going like, hey man, we should work together.
This is what I was saying at the beginning, by the way. This is what I told you. I said, I feel like you're somebody who underestimates yourself. This is exactly, you're proving my point. I don't think you know how good you are, and you don't see yourself as that guy. You know what I mean? You see yourself as just how you've always seen yourself, and not recognizing the kind of like as you've gotten further and further.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure it keeps you in a great, like you're humble and all of those things. But at the same time, I do think you don't realize all of your value, I think. As an outsider who's only talked to you a few times.
Yeah, I don't know. But who does? Who's like, I'm awesome.
Well, there are people who think that way. You don't want to necessarily be those people.
No.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so getting back to regrets then. What about low points? Low points, what was the hardest time for you in your life?
Well, low points are like, not doing the work that you want to work on and just paying the bills. Not, but there, acting, man, you go up and down. And there are valleys that are really hard to slog through, The great thing about our business, though, is like you could be so bummed out. And then, like that, you're flying next week. And it's just gone. Just literally disappears in a second. And there's not many jobs or lifestyles where that happens. I think. But those valleys are tough sometimes. And they continue. I mean, I know people who aren't working right now and haven't worked in a long time. I mean, that scares the hell out of me, you know? I'm so lucky.
Yeah.
It's like, it's stupid
Yeah.
that I
Plus,
get paid to do this. It's insane.
yeah,
It's
it
ridiculous.
is. It's tough, but like it would do nothing for you to let yourself be freaked out about it,
Right.
you know? Because you
Yeah.
don't want to fear the thing that isn't happening. You just keep going. It's kind of like we were talking about with like the keep putting yourself out there, even though you do feel insecurities. It's about just you keep going.
Yeah. I mean, it's great to, and now I have a daughter who's in, who's working. She just did an Apple show called Imperfect Women. She's working, but now she's, auditioning and no one's hiring her. And I'm like, just hang in there, get close. I got close. When I moved to New York, I got close on everything. I felt like just no one took a shot, and then it'll happen if you just hang in there.
Who took a shot? Who was the first person for you?
Um, in film, it was Ben Stiller with Reality Bites. He gave me my shot to play that part. I already knew Ethan from play. Ben came to see the play. It's like the old days, you should, audition. I got it. That was huge. That was a really big shot. But then that goes away. People don't know you're and then there's another shot. And then you do little movies. You do something that you're not proud of. It's just kind of like, but you do it because you want to work.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're lucky if all of a sudden you land something. It's like out of sight. That's,
Yeah.
you're in a great movie with a great soundtrack and a great cast and it's just everything aligned, and then that thing you do, and Tom Hanks, like giving me that opportunity,
That was great. But then
And
you
then-
take the opportunity, right? You take it and you went with it. You used it.
Right.
You didn't freak out about it. You went in and you you put yourself out there.
Right. And then being offered Band of Brothers, where I would have met, Rick Gomez decades ago, and I didn't do it. Huge regret. That's my jam, man. It's all I read. It's like that kind of stuff. I'm the guy who's like, oh, I have 5 days off. Maybe I should go to Belgium and just walk the Ardennes by myself and look for foxholes and bring a book. That's to me, that's bliss.
Yeah, that does sound like bliss.
To go to
Really?
a battlefield by myself,
Yeah.
so I can read everything and not have somebody going, come on. I love that.
I get that. I do think that a lot of times it's better to go by yourself places because you can totally do it yourself. I also like to go to movies by myself. I don't do
Oh,
it that
yeah.
often anymore, but it's always a great thing because you're just there with yourself and you don't have to worry about
Right.
anybody else's
That's
reaction or anything. It's good.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
So I'll say one last thing about when you're saying now Audrey has to audition and stuff, and you're like, just hang in there, right? Sounds to me like you should call Sean Penn at this point.
Yeah, I should. Hey, man, do you remember me from out of sight? No, man, I don't. Don't ever call me again.
All right, let's wrap up with one question.
All right.
What are you still working on personally in your life? Personally.
Being a better husband, being a better dad, being a better friend, listening, and not necessarily saying something back. Those are, relationships it's a constantly evolving thing that you have to put time into. Constantly. To the day you die. You got to keep working on them. That's it, really. That's the hard stuff. Because that's what matters. All the other stuff doesn't really matter. It's all in the periphery. It's all things passing and, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Family, friends.
Yeah.
And if you have two really good friends, it's pretty good. Yeah, so.
That came out in She Dances too, the friendship concept with the girls and with you and Ethan. It was interesting. I like to see that too. It's humanity.
Yeah.
It's heart.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you again for this.
Thanks for letting me Zoom and not have me fly that far. Can I just say also my character cuts his own hair. So
Your
if anybody
character-
out there's like, what is up with Steve's hair? Yeah, I cut my own hair.
Or what are you saying? The silo guy cuts his own hair?
Yeah, cuts his own hair. That was a character thing I came up with. What if he cuts his own hair? I love it.
Well, you had kind of a mullet in She Dances.
Not a mullet.
Almost.
I had just longer hair.
Yeah, but in the back, and there was like one shot that it looked a little mulletish.
Really?
Yeah.
A little hockey. A little Kentucky waterfall.